Welcome to I Say Yes and with Alycia Larson, the podcast where we dive into all things spiritual and watch as we grow as humans and expand as the powerful spiritual beings we know we are. Let's dive in. Welcome back. I'm so excited that we are here today. Today we're talking about emotions. Now, emotions are beautiful. And emotions are needed for our human experience. And unfortunately, the world has decided that certain emotions are good and certain emotions are bad, and even some emotions are annoying. Now, what I have come to realize in my world is that emotions are good, emotions are needed, and emotions aren't bad. It's what we do with that emotion. It's how we react to that emotion that may turn into something bad or less than desired or problematic, depending on the extremity of it. Now, I'm one of those people that if you were asked to describe me, somebody may describe me as emotional. I laugh very easily, and guess what? I also cry very easily. I'm very in tune with my emotions. And a lot of people can't handle that. A lot of people can't handle my uncontrollable bursts of belly laughter, and some people really can't control the tears. Like, they can't handle it. To them there is a time and a place, and like, stop. Like, you're making me uncomfortable. First off, let's stop allowing other people to make us uncomfortable by their emotion. Emotions are beautiful. Emotions are a way that our body releases a message to us. It is our responsibility to determine what that message is. And it's from that messaging that we can create healings for ourselves, and we can create a depth of understanding who and what we want from our life. So, a lot of you are probably thinking, yeah, but anger is not a good emotion. And I beg to differ. To me, anger is telling me that something, maybe I'm not being treated how I want to be treated. Maybe somebody is not listening to what I need them to hear me say. Maybe I'm in a situation that is toxic that I need to remove myself from. And there's anger there. It is my responsibility to dive into what made me angry in that moment, and then I decide how I protect myself in the future. Was that something that I need to remove myself fully from? Is that something that I need to dive in and be like, but why? Why did that make me so upset? Here's one example: road rage. There are some people out there that just have a very strong road rage, and they get so upset. And I understand. I think we've all had that moment where we're driving and we yell at the car next to us, in front of us, or behind us, and we're like, really, what are you doing? And I ask next, what's the next thing that happens after that outburst? Because that's the key. That little spurt of anger because somebody cut you off, very easy to get over it. But if you hold on to it, are you letting go of it? Are you getting more angry? Are you deciding now you're gonna follow the person down the road? Are you swearing at them and cursing at them and just basically condemning them completely for whatever the situation might have been? That's when anger becomes not a good thing. But it's not the anger. It's your reaction with that anger. And so today I just want to have this conversation about emotion. I know for me, especially when I start crying, I have trained myself to apologize for my tears. And this is something that I'm playing with. Not apologizing for my tears, and instead allowing myself to feel that emotion. And one thing that I've learned is that often the tears come because I feel certain emotions so strongly that that's how my body runs. That's how my body processes it. That is how I am connecting in like a beautiful spiritual way to a situation or a person. You know, for a long time I thought, you know, as a healer, I can't show that emotion with a client because it needs to be about them. It's not about me. But my tears don't make it about me. My tears are a beautiful example of emotion. My tears during a healing session, I have learned, is actually because I'm feeling this intense love from the spirit world. And sometimes it's been my mom. I feel her so intensely just loving on me. And I've felt it from God and angels and whatever beings that might be in the space at that moment. And it's so beautiful that my body just like weeps because it's so beautiful. And I wish everyone could experience love in the way that I get to. That I'm connected in this beautiful way with so many spirits that are allowing me to feel this unconditional love so deep. And when I had the awakening that a huge part of my work and my job and my life is going to be around helping to heal grief in this world, and that grief doesn't have to strangle us. We don't have to allow that to be. Like, grief doesn't have to be the 7-step painful process that is reciprocal and it like keeps going around because it's cyclical and it's like back and forth, pain, okay, pain, okay, pain, okay. It can actually be, I'm not saying there will never be pain, like you're feeling the loss of the situation, but you can also feel the shift. You can feel the love. You can feel this hope that you didn't realize you were missing before. And so I was like, when this all came to me, I remember I was sitting with a couple mentors and I was talking about it, and I was like, you know, one of the things that came to me as soon as I had this awareness was, but what about my tears? I can't hold them in. When my tears come to the surface, I let them go, because for me, holding in tears creates a toxic feeling in my body, and I just say no to that. That's not for me. And then as I was talking to them, it was like I channeled and I received the beautiful message that my tears aren't the problem. It was how I was looking at my tears, as if me crying out of empathy and love for my client meant I was turning it into something about me. But that's not true, because what did I say at the beginning? Emotion's not wrong. It's what we do with the emotion after. Now, if I'm in the middle of a healing session and I start crying and then I turn it into the story all about me, then that's where a problem lies. But what if I get to share, like I shared with my mentor when I was with her in a session, and I said, these emotions are coming up because I'm feeling this all-encompassing, unconditional love, and it's just so beautiful. And I wish you could feel this. I want you to experience what I'm experiencing right here in this moment, because it's so unbelievable. It's so lovely. And that's what the tears were about. That's not making it about me. That is explaining a situation and inviting the person to tap into the experience with me. And also making it okay for the emotions to flow. Because a lot of the times, if you've ever noticed, if you've ever gone to any funeral and talked to anybody who was a loved one of the deceased, I guarantee you've heard this whether you've acknowledged it or not. Okay, so let's say somebody comes to me because my mother passed, and they say, I'm so sorry for your loss. And they start kind of yabbering. My human instinct is to then go into making it okay for the other person. So I would say something like, yeah, it stinks, but she's not in pain anymore. She's in a better place. And it turns into that. But here's what that moment should have looked like, in my opinion. It should have looked like, I'm so sorry for your loss. And then me responding simply, thank you. I don't need to validate my pain or your pain because of the loss of this person, but I receive you saying that you're so sorry for my loss, because I see that as love, and it's not my job to make you better about my loss. Which also, if somebody's going to a funeral, most likely in a way there's a loss for them as well. And we're not comparing levels of loss. We're not comparing who knew somebody better. That doesn't matter. That's all like noise. But allowing our emotions to flow in all situations, I believe, makes us stronger to, one, listen to when Spirit's nudging us and telling us something and sharing something with us. It's allowing us to acknowledge when we're ready for that next expansion and stepping up, because you'll feel it. Because you're not holding in your emotions anymore. You're allowing emotions to flow. And when there's an emotion you're not a huge fan of, you can dive into it and find out. And you can be like, hey, Shadow, why was I so angry on that drive today? What was that about? And you can dive into it because you're connected, you're bonded. And you can be like, God, this is really bothering me. Why is this really bothering me? Like, why do I feel this way about this situation? And guess what? God, your guides, whomever you talk to and connect with in that moment, they're going to share with you. And it's all about knowing and allowing yourself to receive the messages that you are receiving. And so I'm going to leave this for you to just sit in this space. And if you want to reach out to me, know that my DMs are open. You can reach out to me on social media or anything. It's the Alycia Larson on everything. But just start to kind of acknowledge your different emotions that you feel throughout the day and dive into the questions. Ask. Why am I feeling this way about this? Why am I getting so annoyed about this upcoming meeting I have at my job? Why does this person irk me so much? And you can start diving into things and get to the nitty gritty. And that nitty gritty gets to be healing. And that nitty gritty, you get to send love to that spot. And then you get to grow as a person. Because that's what we want, right? We want to be better people. We want to grow. We want to expand. And we want to live a magical life. Right? And so all I ask, your love assignment for today, should you choose, is just acknowledge your emotions throughout the day. And if there's an emotion you don't care for, dive into why that came up. And also, if there is an emotion that you love, then ask for more of that to come your way. And I bet you'll be surprised with how things can start to shift for you. I love you so much. Thank you for being here, and I will talk to you next time. Thank you for joining me on this episode of I Say Yes and with Alycia Larson. I hope you feel inspired and empowered to embrace your inner power and manifest the life you desire. Remember, the journey to self-discovery and empowerment is ongoing, and I'm here with you every step of the way. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your feedback helps us reach more souls ready to say yes to their own potential. Don't forget to follow me on social media for more insights, inspiration, and updates on upcoming episodes. Together, we can create a community of empowered individuals living their dream lives. Until next time, keep saying yes to yourself, yes to your dreams, and yes to the power within you. Stay magical and keep shining your light.